everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Denver Broncos and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff is right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just across the Allegheny River from downtown Pittsburgh at rain-soaked Heinz Field in the Steel City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Denver Broncos and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They have certainly got it rolling of late. Winners of 6 in a row.
And it's simple. The more you win in the regular season, the more likely you play at home in the postseason, and that can take you deep into January.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes that actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
First and 10, it's Haskins. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. The offensive starters now for the Broncos.
So let's all work together on this one because it's natural to just watch the football. I want all of us to watch the center of this offensive line, the center and the 2 guards. They've got to be able to control the point of attack, and they didn't do such a good job on that last play. Plenty of opportunities to redeem themselves. They'll have to take advantage of that and start to make progress.
Third down. Here's Haskins. And that will be incomplete.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And this will be caught at the 30. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. His 9th touchdown of the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. From the gun, Haskins on 3rd down. He's got Jake Butt, his tight end. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. A very solid gain of 27. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Looking left side, he's got it complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. Somebody missed an assignment. He was waving his arm saying, hey, I'm wide open. They found him.
You think? You think? I mean, he was so wide open. Did you see he was just windmilling like he was Don Quixote or somebody out there? And then they found him for a really nice gain.
This quarterback now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. Dances by him. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting up their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 16. Back to throw here. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 10 more there and another 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Saquon Barkley. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On second down, Dobbins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
But if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Well, a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down. Those are the kinds of... The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Saquon Barkley, his 2nd TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, his car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And coming out now, the Broncos. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling.
And now on the pitch, the ball's loose. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower post-game. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
On second down now, Dobbins. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Watch the ship.
On third down, Dobbins. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a fourth down. The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. This is taken at the 23.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first. And got his man complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. Touchdown number 22 on the season as his guys continue to pour it on.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Let's go, baby!
The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 5 now. Haskins, that's complete to Jake Butt. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the front. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was fairly easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 35. Give him 30 yards there. What a first half this has been offensively. I mean, defensively, what do you do when you're getting torched like this?
No, these receivers are absolutely wearing them out. So 2 thoughts come to mind. 1, get some oxygen. You fill up your lungs a little bit. And number 2, talk to your guys up front. You need a pass rush to help slow them down.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down.
Get it.
They'll drop the throw. The open man is Shark. It's complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 14. This quarterback now nearly perfect. 9 and 10 in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Flushed out right. He'll run it. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Down. Hey, wahoo! 18 Gator. Slam.
On 2nd down, it's Boyd. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
That call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Saquon Barkley on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for him. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be taken in at the 1. And it'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, here's Haskins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Now Haskins, 3rd and long. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. The first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from the Motor City. That one has really opened up. The Vikings have just scored again. I would definitely imagine we'll hear more from that game as we go along.
Hey, watch it.
A first down carry for Barkley. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. 2nd and 4. This will be caught just inside the 10. Now a flag comes in from the umpire after a gain of about 4. And this looks like it's going to be holding. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. That's complete. It's Collins. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. They'll look to throw again. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. From 3 yards out as his guys continue to pour it on. And now the Steeler offense staying out there, and they'll go for 2.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores.
And the Broncos get there and take him down.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. This is fielded at the goal line. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35 and make it the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now, beginning this drive 1st and 10. Second half begins with a run from Barkley. He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And finally down at the 32-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 32-yard line. Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Check 9, check 9. 22 jet bomber, 22 jet deep rip.
Now this time he'll look to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. Got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
The extra point up and good. And that will extend this big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start. Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Pulled in at the 24. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And last time out, another touchdown. I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The road to be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
Now a throw here on second down, and that's complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
But he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Well, they've done a good job on these receivers, pretty much held them in check. They're a little too close for comfort.
And you're always looking for a play to get you going, right? You're looking for someone to make one. But maybe this penalty, this pass interference call, that can help shake them loose.
And he comes back with one complete. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. This quarterback now still just the one incompletion. 16 of 17. It's first down. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll be second down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Flush to his right. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That is caught inside the 5. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. They'll keep it on the ground. Dobbins. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Haskins to throw, and that's knocked away and incomplete.
The one with the dime look that time on defense just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. That's taken at around the 40. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. Now, that play was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
He's got a 1st down and much more inside the 20. And he's going to get it down to the 14-yard line. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They'll run on 1st down. McClellan, and they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of 1st downs, and here a loss of yardage.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
2nd and 14. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Keanu Neal. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
A run on 1st down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Only a yard on the gain there as time will run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Pittsburgh. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 2nd and 9, Haskins. Complete out right to Jake Butt. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Broncos on 3rd down. It has been a disaster. 0 for 8 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Haskins, open man, and that's his tight end, Jake Butt. A Bronco 1st down there, 12 yards on the play. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right, safety valve, throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays,
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 28, and his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions. because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remote's clicking off right now. He's going to take off with it. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right. And
everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it.
It's a party now. It's a party.
Back to throw now on first down. Going to throw right side here. Complete. A gain of 6 there on first. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Oh, he's going to go for it all. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. DJ Chark with touchdown number. Seven on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. 2nd and 10. Here's Haskins again. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. That last catch winds up costing him 3, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd and 13. But he's got the completion to Hopkins. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Denver has a first down on the 15-yard play. Haskins now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Haskins, the tight end butt, takes in the short throw. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd and long. Haskins. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete.
Let's go.
Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of...
Haskins hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the 4th quarter here, and now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0. Now a throw over the middle, and he's got it to start the drive. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. He's going to fire one deep, middle of, and that's caught inside the 35. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll try the left side. McClellan. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
I'm coming. Recon, 132 fighter.
2nd and 6. He's going to look deep down the field and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately...
Touchdown, Steelers. John Brown on for the point after.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. The extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so
under pressure, they got him again. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. The throw taken in by Hamilton. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Haskins will throw. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. This is taken at the 18. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When you go to the backup, let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. Has a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well.